Okay, welcome to another edition of the Above the Bridge podcast. I'm your host, Thaddeus Park. First, I want to shout out my sponsors. Defend Hawaii has been with us since day one. They have a store in Windward Mall called No One. Also, if you go on defendhawaii.com, if you use promo code ATBPOD upon checkout, you'll receive 15% off of whatever you order. Check them out. They have a brand new back to school line. They always coming out with new drops, so go check them out. Next, we have IREP Detail Supply. They have a store in Temple Valley Shopping Center and a brand new one in Las Vegas. But go check out Kaika, the owner. If you want anything you need to detail your car, truck, van, waxes, polishes, soaps, go check them out. irepdetailsupply.com, promo code ATBPOD upon checkout. Also 15% off your entire purchase order. Next, we have Hawaii Candy Factory, and you see their stuff everywhere. They have noms. It's a bunch of local treats with candies with lemon peel and lihimui on top. They have s'mores now. They have a whole bunch of crazy mix-up concoctions. Go check them out. HawaiiCandyFactory.com, promo code ATBPOD upon checkout. You'll receive 10% off your entire purchase order. Last, we have our Hawaii Medicinal Mushroom Company, Med Mushroom High. Right now they have 4 different tinctures of extracted mushroom. They have the red reishi, they have turkey tail, chaga, and lion's mane. And each one of these mushrooms have a different medicinal property. If you go on their website, medmushroomhigh.com, it'll describe exactly what each one does, and you can order it on their website. Use promo code ATBPOD upon checkout. All capitals, you'll receive 45% off your first tincture of mushrooms. Go check them out. I take this every single day, every day, first thing in the morning. All right. Aloha. Okay, this week, my guest is Jesse Jones from To the Top. How you been, man? You got so many things going on. I can't even keep track.
Doing good, brother. How you doing?
Pretty good, bro. It's been a long. It's only Monday, and it feels like it's a long week.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good problem to be busy all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So you have what is your company basically about To the Top?
To the Top Hawaii is a it's a 501c. It's a nonprofit. It's
Oh
geared
wow.
towards ending houselessness. But
So
besides that, go ahead.
no, so you that's what that was the main goal when you put it together.
Yes, but alongside all of that is a lot of community work, a lot of community projects. Everything kind of, I would say, ties into each other.
Oh yeah, for sure. I know it seems like the homelessness situation in Hawaii has been getting crazy.
Hmm.
I
Oh yeah.
work I work Kaka'ako, and I've seen it as crazy as it was maybe a few years ago, but then when all the development started, those people got like chased out. I don't even know where they are. I know get plenty in Kaneohe now though.
It happens a lot. I think I noticed a lot of movement with the houseless community during election season.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I couldn't say for sure if that has any part of it. But I do know notice I have to go hunting more to find the campsites because they're kind of shuffled around during this time.
Okay. Well, if you're ever in Kaneohe, bro, I can show you exactly where they are.
Heard.
Bro, right by the library on river, and on the other side of the river, they have an encampment, and they keep it pretty clean though, I gotta admit. But
Yeah,
yeah, once
yeah.
in a while I'll get action. But even today, my friend called me up. He just put out a fire on one of the streets. It was a homeless people. I guess their little shack got caught on fire, and
Oh
he had to
dang.
dump his water bottle on it. And yeah, the fire department came was just this morning.
Wow.
I know. It seems like it's getting worse, but then sometimes it's getting better. But like how have you been putting these projects together to help these people?
Whether it's going out personally, and I take a lot of, I don't even know if this is allowed to do so, but a lot of times I take people's leftover foods and whatnot, and whether it's from a restaurant or somebody's catering service or party, and I go out and I talk to these individuals on a personal note, and I'm like, hey, how's it? What, you guys hungry? They say no. They tell me F you, or they don't like, then that's okay. I just move on to the next. I'm not gonna let that deter me from the mission, which is trying to help them. And one by one, I kind of weed and seed out the ones that actually like help and the ones that are just comfortable doing what they're doing. So I respect that. You know, it's for some of them, it's easier on the street.
Yeah.
For the ones that like help, I try to reach out. Oh, what you need next, Uncle? Oh, I need ID, and that's like one of the hardest things to do on the
Mhm.
streets is get ID, especially when you don't want to dress for Melum too. Uh, you might not have money or transportation to get to the what is it, the state building to get your ID. To get your ID, what you need, two forms of identification, and if your camp was raided, guess what? You know how hard it is to get identification without social security and birth certificate.
Oh
It's
yeah.
rough. Yeah, and for help out these guys get on that level. So a lot of times it's I would say it's document retrieval is what we've been focusing on besides the actual outreaches in the community. We've done one at Kapolei Community Park. We threw up tents, a lot of uh, donated foods, free cell phones, just a doorway for them for an opportunity to get off the street.
Wow, I've never even thought about that for a second, bro. ID.
Yeah,
That makes
yeah, no, it's
sense.
I hear people, houses, people getting turned away from the shelter because they cannot, for one, they cannot prove they're houseless and they don't have any credentials. So under certain circumstances, they can't even enter the property, which is mind blowing to me. But that's something that I want to try and find out, like how we can make that a little bit more easier for them. For me, somebody of sane body out there on the streets having difficult time, I can just imagine how hard it is for them without somebody coming out to help them, without a case management worker, without somebody who actually cares or acknowledges them.
Yeah. So, okay, hypothetically, what would be the steps to get an ID? Because I don't even know other than going to the DMV, but like for someone who doesn't have those forms of identification or credentials, and then where would you go to get a state ID?
Uh, to the I can't remember that off the top of my head. The same building you go get your driver's license. What is that place called
Okay.
again? The DMV?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, DMV. You got to go over there at DMV.
Satellite city or
Yeah,
whatever.
Satellite
Yeah.
City
Yeah.
Hall. That show two forms of identification. They know more than two forms of identification, then I sometimes have to go to the Social Security office, get them to get a Social Security card or birth certificate. Got to go town to
Oh, wow.
the office that's right near the state building. So, and then a lot of these guys no more transportation, so they're just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna live on the streets. They're
Yeah.
tired of the yeah.
Wow. Wow. I'm like, yeah, I've never thought of that as being a problem. I
Yeah,
guess that's kind of one
yeah,
of the hugest first step you could take is to
yes,
getting off the street is getting an ID card.
yeah, yeah.
So, say you're trying to get these guys off the street, what would be the process and how could you, I don't know, like how does it work? Like what would be where
Everybody's
to go?
case is different. Yeah, everybody's case is different. I really gotta play it by the individual. Um, let's just take this one guy I'm helping out right now. With the grace of social media, we found him. I've been helping like just I was just feeding this uncle. He's a veteran. Um, feeding him on a weekly. It's just wherever I see him at night. I usually take the food after work and I go around Kapolei area. But this particular uncle is like, Uncle, what? What's the plan? What you like do next? And he's like, I don't know. He's like, yeah, just survive and blah blah. He's like, you never thought about getting off the streets? I just don't know how. And it's like, okay. He's like, what are you missing? You have any ID and blah blah blah. And he's like, no, I have nothing. I lost it all. He's like, okay. Uh, let's just fast forward the story a bit. I helped him get all his credentials. He showed up with these areas I needed him to be in, whether it was in front of Social Security building or whatnot. We got all the credentials. He went MIA. He went missing. Couldn't
Oh,
find him for months. So I use social media, and thanks to some of the big titans on IG like 808 Viral, Hungry Hawaiian, me in Hawaii. I was like, hey, can you help me share this story? I'm trying to find this guy. He's like, I don't know where he went. His credentials just came in, and I want to get it to him so that we can help get him off the streets. It went viral. We found him. He got into a car accident. Somebody had
oh,
hit him, hit and run, and left him there to pretty much to die. And he was in intensive care in a facility called H4 down in, I think that's what is that town area that I'm by.
huh.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's a Yeah, it's a housing facility. Yeah, he was in intensive care over there. One of the workers that worked in there saw my post and he's like, "Oh, we have that individual that you described. He's here, blah blah." So no, I got a chance to get a hold of him. He was so happy. He was so stoked to see me. I got him all his stuff he needed. Now we're moving on to the next step, which is housing. Credentials is in place. Bank accounts in place. Now we need to start searching. There is a lot of help for veterans, and I want to make like I know what I'm doing, but in all honesty, I'm literally, just to be real, I'm winging it. I'm winging this whole thing. Like I'm learning as I go along, and whatever I don't know, I go seek that information out. I'll go try and find out what's the next step I need to know, whether it's talking to a shelter, talking to another nonprofit that is working with the houseless community, talking. I got a chance to meet like some politicians and other just movers and shakers that are helping and are willing to help. They see where my heart is and trying to help me get these people into the right direction as well. So
Wow, that's
I
super
kind of
awesome,
trailed off
man.
on that question. Yeah.
Nah, no worries. How hard has it been to get them motivated to want to kind of make a move?
That's the thing, man. I can't I can't force anybody to want help.
Yeah,
So it's the ones that like the help, then yes, I'll go stick around, or it's just gonna be me annoying them and then exhausting myself and annoying them, and it's a lose-lose battle. So in
yeah.
that sense, I just give them food anyway, or it's hey, what, you hungry anyway? I can still. And sometimes they come around, maybe three, four, five times after I visit them, and then I call them by their name. And it's like, oh, what's up, Larry? It's like long time no see. Still hungry? He's like, yeah. It's like, hey, what? You think you can still help me find a place to live? It's like, yeah. In fact, I know a shelter down the road that get a couple occupancies right now, and it's just how it works. Is seeing these people more as individuals instead of just a numbers
Yeah.
game, or I don't know. A lot of people just go right past them. They don't
Yeah.
non-existent, and then for them to be acknowledged, and then some random stranger to be like, "Oh, what's up, Mark? How you doing?" Is like, everything okay? You need anything I can get for you? Well, I get waters in the trunk, da da da. And then they're like, oh shit, somebody actually sees me, you
You're
know?
starting for trust a little bit, huh?
Yes, yeah, that's what I try to restore, is a little bit more hope, a little bit more aloha. It's still here, it's still alive,
Oh
it's still
yeah.
moving. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think what you're doing is super awesome. I know it is a problem. I think that, like you said, people just drive past, and I know, like myself included, I did always kind of greet the homeless people that were living by my work and stuff like that. We would give them food here and there, but it wasn't ever a chance where I got to meet them and hear their story. And I think a lot of the times that their story could have been like one little thing just put them in a spiral in the bad direction, and they don't know how to get back from it, or um they want to, and they just don't know how. And I think you giving them a opportunity could kind of spark their interest in getting off the street, maybe.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, all it takes is one person to whether believe in you or just acknowledge your existence is what I notice a lot of times. They're
Yeah.
not used to people stopping and wanting to hear their story. Hey, how you doing? What happened? Mind telling me what's going on? But then you also run into the ones who's just like gone, and I can't have a decent conversation with them. I can't. You can't help them all, as they say, right?
Yeah, yeah, but it's like that starfish analogy, like get 100 starfish on the beach and you turn them back and you're never gonna throw them all in, but the ones you turn in gonna make the difference, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I love that story. Yeah, exactly. You make all the difference in that one person's life. Is like, oh,
Yeah.
I hear some of the negative commentary. Oh, you're not gonna do nothing, or he's just gonna waste your time, and blah blah blah. But there might be just that one that actually changed their lives. Get them off the, set them in the right direction. But in all, it comes down to them wanting to help themselves first, and
Yeah.
you just being one friend.
So you probably hear a whole bunch of crazy stories and reasons why people are down on their luck. What would be
Yeah.
like the kind of like the trend, or what would be the common story that seems to come up a bunch of times where it's like, oh, this is kind of one of the bigger problems?
Uh, I would say they're just discouraged,
Mm.
um, lost hope in the system. I don't want to say personally the system is broken, but to a lot of these individuals, the system is, whether it's giving you just enough for make the rent or just enough for eat, just enough to keep the electric on, and then to the point where I talk to some of them is like, you know what, I get better chance on the streets and just living off the state's penny than it would be to try and survive on my own and barely pay the cost of rent. So a lot of times they're looking at their options and they're taking what they find as the lesser of two evils.
Hmm.
But I'm trying to show them is like, hey, you know what? Just like how I do these night markets and whatnot, and I strictly try and support local business to try to keep the economy, the money here in Hawaii and whatnot. To me, that's preventative maintenance.
Yeah.
That's a way of keeping the roof over your head, the electric on, the car with gas and whatnot. That's preventative maintenance to houselessness, and that's how I kind of tie that in with the 501c3. It's a way to prevent the houselessness before it even occurs. It's a way to for these families to provide without having to get to that point where they have to solely depend on the state.
Wow, that makes sense. And you've
Yeah.
been doing a lot of these events. So what would be like some of the events you've been throwing? I seen you did the night market. Is that your business, like the night market? Like you guys put that whole thing together?
So the night markets are real. It's I have several of them are my own, and then several of them I just go out and volunteer at some other of the uh, event coordinators events as well. The the night markets I run separately. It's like the 501c is for the houselessness and the community projects. The night markets is it's like an LLC. I gotta put some money on some food on the table as well for myself.
Yeah, for
So I
sure.
do that. Yeah, I do that, and just volunteering at these other people's events. That's how I've kind of built the knowledge to uphold my own events. Just go out there and be helpful. Go add value to somebody else before you try and ask for a handout or. So
Yeah.
whether it was just sweeping up the lot or helping vendors set up tents, and one thing led to another. It's the same thing. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but I was continuously putting myself in environments and around people that I knew what they were doing and trying to live and learn off them, kind of like fast forward the learning process instead of trying to do everything on my own.
Well, I think the night markets also give opportunities for businesses to get known. Because
Yeah.
they had couple in Kaneohe. Is that yours one, the Kaneohe one?
Continental Night Market is run by the people who taught me. I would say uh, a lot, if not got me started into wanting to do night markets. That's like Lokahi, Kailua Market. We got man, on the spot. What's that guy's name?
Benton.
That's yes, yes.
Yeah.
He's doing the whole marketing side of that, and Michelle, she's been a guiding a mentor, a light throughout this whole process. It made
Oh
things
yeah.
super easy for me. And then it
I know
all started with me
Michelle.
just yeah. I
I
went
see
to her
her at the
markets.
gym.
Yeah,
Yeah, I see her at the gym all the time. And Benton,
yeah,
I've played football with at Damien. That's one of my classmates.
yeah. Those two together is just you seen the event is crazy,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
to be
yeah.
able to help and provide and be a part of it too is just an awesome experience.
Yeah, so because of your involvement with those and your knowledge, you were able to start your own like in Kapolei and stuff.
Yes, yes. That we've managed to expand from whether it was Kapolei Lofts. Now we also have an event over here in Opili at the Element.
Oh, okay.
We do a quarterly night market there, but we also have uh, food truck Thursdays every second Thursdays on the property just to
Oh, wow.
for something for this community. Opili is huge. There's plenty
Where is
plenty
that?
people here. Croc Center
Oh, okay, okay.
is what it is above
Yeah, yeah.
Kamakana. Yeah, huge community. So forgive them something to do besides, you know what I mean, the
Yeah.
usual that's around here, and bring local food from all over. That some of these lunch trucks come from East Side, North Shore, all the way down West Side. So it's nice to bring them something else to eat besides the regular that's around here.
Oh, and you do that every other Thursday
Every second Thursday of the
or
month.
every second Thursday.
Yeah, and then the quarterly though is the big one. We do about 25 local businesses over at the Element. And what's our next one? Our next one is actually Kapolei Loss. Will be the first Saturday. That one's about 60 local businesses. I don't know how we fit so much vendors on one small field. I don't know if you've ever been to that one, but it's crazy.
And what, how do you find these businesses? Like they come to you or you gotta go seek them out?
At first, it was me reaching out to them on a personal level. This is like, hey, I'm trying to do something for the community. I'm trying to support local. I got a spot that I think we could make some magic happen, and it's all help too. It's everybody's like, "Oh, you do such great events," and there's like, it's just a piece of the puzzle. There's so many other moving parts that are right alongside me, whether it's Sun and Soul Boutique, Fergie and Corey working the back end with me, or bringing the material or tents that I might need. My wife doing all the back end work. She does whether it's the spreadsheets and go if it was up to me to do the spreadsheets, everything would be so unorganized. But thanks to my wife, and she's so like everything is column colored and it just leaves everything so structured. It's, it's a village that really brings these night markets to life.
Yeah, I can imagine. I've done big events like concerts and stuff, and
Nice, yeah,
yeah, it's it's a lot of work, man. And
yes,
yeah, nobody knows what goes on behind the scenes. You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly.
I know what I wanted to talk to you about, and this is something that kind of I've been noticing a lot, especially here in Hawaii and kind of in Kaneohe too. But the youth today is, in my opinion, doesn't have the same aloha as we had when I was growing up. And I'm trying to figure out where has it been kind of being not taken away, but not being shown or lack of importance. I don't know if you feel the same, but I know you're like your shirt says aloha advocate. I know that we are the beacon not only for just Hawaii but for the whole planet to show what aloha is about, and I feel like we're losing it a little bit, and especially with the younger generations. I just seen something recently how these kids out at Winter Mall were just punking people and just bad mouth and disrespecting the kapuna, and it just kind of breaks my heart because I know like when I was young that couldn't happen. If we were for one, somebody would have smacked us, or if we were
100%.
being disrespectful like that. But now it is nobody checks these kids or kind of tries to show them the right way, or I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm feeling like we're losing a little bit. I don't know if you feel the same, but if you do, what's your opinion on that?
I'd have to agree with you to a certain extent, but I do believe with just as much as social media and the news, they highlight a lot of uh, things that capture your attention. It's like the bad, the violence, the whatnot, and that's just a mere fraction of
Yeah,
like our youth, of the kiki, of all the great things that our kids are doing out there. But for me to like sit here and point fingers, it's social media's fault. It's the news fault. It's the parents' fault. It's these kids are different. Is not going to solve the problem. So like with everything else that I've been trying to advocate for, whether it's aloha or ending houselessness or supporting local business, same thing. Instead of just sitting back and watching everything pan out, go do something about it instead of just complain about things or be judgmental. So I try to face things a little bit more hands-on, knowing that these kids aren't listening
yeah,
to uh, authority, to the parents sometimes, but they're watching. They're watching
yeah,
everybody's examples, and some of these examples is set examples that I may have set, as when I was younger and given them the wrong example. So now that I'm older and I feel just a little bit more wiser, that I think I could set a better example. So to go out there and even I go with Keiko Pure Aloha a lot and AP Brand Hoys, Al, and we talk to the kids. Keiko puts me in the most uncomfortable situations. He's like, "Hey, you're gonna talk in front of this entire school today." I'm like, "What?" And like so we just go with it, we wing it. I'm like, all right, that's where growth is made in
yeah,
your most uncomfortable of situations. So a lot of times I just tell my story and in hopes that they can live in my shoes through my stories and not have to actually walk through the same bullshit I put myself through, my family through, that they didn't deserve, or people that I may have hurt along the road. So we know we're not going to reach every single kid in that audience. We know that. We walk in knowing that. But we know we're going to reach one. And like
yeah,
you said with the starfish story, it's all about that one, and you see that connection. You can almost feel it. Like toward the ending, Uncle, I love what you said, and blah blah blah. It's like I'm going through this, I'm going through that. Boom, right there. Make that connection. That's what these kids looking for. They're not looking for, oh, I want to rep red or blue, or I want to get into. They're looking for connection. Could be anything. Could be even if it's fighting. Uh,
yeah,
there's gyms. There's gyms. You can go Why Night Gym right down the road. You got Nito Boxing and Mono Y. All places that you can take that energy if if you get itchy hands, you can go do something positive with it. I speak that because that's what I did. I
yeah.
I had I've been into more fights than I need be, and I try to implement that more into boxing than being a menace to society.
I definitely know that feeling, myself included. I was on punk, and then I always tell this story until I walked in the gym and sparred the first time and got kicked in the head. It made me realize I ain't even all that.
Get humbled real quick, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I like what you said, like how social media is can work good or bad. I do know a lot of clickbait is on negative things. Like people like see scraps in the street or somebody making trouble, or negative stuff is always attracts people and views and gets
Yep.
gets things up. But like your friend Pure Aloha, what you guys do, the positivity is what attracts me more now. And I like seeing what I like to say random acts of aloha where
Hmm.
people do things for other people and showcase it. To me, that's more of a clickbait for me personally. And I think that can inspire more people. I
Yes,
feel like what you guys are doing, actually talking to the community, is it's hard because you want to make a huger impact. But like you said, one person at a time, it can grow. I think
yes.
the generation now needs to kind of learn a little bit of the past and learn a little bit how things were so that they can take that same aloha and move it forward. But I don't know if they want to seek it out as much as it was before. I'm not sure, but it's cool that you guys are trying to talk to them. That's that makes a difference. It's kind of hard to do it, I would imagine too, huh?
So when you see like a young man open the door for auntie or somebody walking uncle across the street, does that not like motivate you or make you got that feel good like humanity's being restored feeling in the chest
Yes,
just a little bit,
definitely.
and it
Yep.
makes you want to go out and do something as well that can just provide or just be a decent human being, be kind. So I think I can speak for the group when I say we're just trying to show how loud aloha can be as well, because uh, aloha is a lot of times quiet, humble. Just it's time for us to get a little bit louder with it, and that's what we've been trying to do with our actions more than our words.
Yeah.
Whether it's simple violence awareness, sign wavings, it was well, that's not going to do nothing. Like it's bringing together a lot of like-minded individuals going down the same path. Was like enough's enough. It's like if we can band together, we can come up with a solution. Because me sitting at home and watching everything go down and say, "Oh, nothing's going to change," not going to change nothing. But us going out to the streets and meeting other like-minded individuals trying to make a difference, maybe then we get one chance.
Yep.
So I think that's yeah, that's just the
Have you
direction that we're
guys,
heading right
that makes sense. Have you guys experienced any kind of pushback or negativity or
now. All the
like
time.
bad for
Uh,
real?
it's just people, just trash talkers online and whatnot. And a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, we're just talking to each other at pay no mind to it. You know what I mean? Ignore it, block it. And then I personally like the challenge. I'll go and I'll message back if it's within reason. Like if I know that they're down to have a decent conversation, then okay, then we can chat. But if it's just you saying, "Oh, it's a Democrat's fault," or "Oh, it's the Howleys and blah blah blah," or it's the Republican, I'm not gonna, I don't deal with that kind, you know. But if there's somebody
Yeah.
who wants to have like see my perspective and then you try to show me yours, we can come to an understanding. After we hit that understanding, then maybe we can move forward. If it's just you trying to lash out at me while we out here trying to do something right, then that's gonna just bring us down to have to deal with that
Yeah.
daily, you know? So to focus more on the solutions than the problems has been what we're aimed towards.
Have you had any positive outcome from one of your conversations with someone who is negative?
Yeah. A lot of believe it or not, I mean, on my to the top white page, you're not gonna find it, but on my I have a personal page too. I've reached the point along the journey of doing all of this where I've posted my number online for everybody to see. My page is all public, not hard to find.
Like your phone
And I was
number.
like, yeah, I was like, if because I was running into a lot of friends who was going through like suicidal thoughts or
Okay.
not wanting to be here anymore. So I was like, hey, before you do anything rash, it's like, here's my phone number. He's like, I'm not ashamed. Call me anytime. I got you. And I felt like God was testing me because then the phone calls came in, you know, from people from the mainland to friends I never talked to in years. And I'm I'm happy to say that of those, I would say about a dozen people so far. Every single one of them still alive. You know, I
Oh,
I
that's
have their the screenshots for sure. That's hey, thank you, bro. Like all I needed was somebody for listening, or tell me there's another way. A lot of times they just want to be heard, and it's
Yeah,
not me. Wasn't me giving advice. They just wanted somebody and shoulder to cry on, so to speak. Sometimes, so
that's true. I
it's
think
yeah.
especially dudes, like dudes have a hard time opening up.
Oh, rough.
And
Yeah,
yeah, it's like that macho thing or
yeah,
it's like you don't want to show weakness or be vulnerable, but sometimes you gotta release all that negative and like you said, like if someone were to listen, that could be all the difference in the world.
yeah,
And that's why I always have like people like you, or I had some other people. I had Chad Starr who does this walk thing and for mental health awareness, because that's coming a huge problem.
yeah.
And I think for men, I think now it's becoming a little bit more okay to kind of let your guard down and talk about problems and kind of, oh, I'm hurting today, bro. Where could I go to like get some help? Like it's not as embarrassing or people would think like it'd be embarrassing.
That's what we're trying to imply a lot too. I had this conversation with Ty Say, I know you know him, is like
Yeah.
vulnerability. Vulnerability is strength. Aloha is strength. I don't know whoever said that that was weakness, but I mean it's time to change the narrative.
Yeah.
It's a life or death conversation, for a lot of people. It's to let people know it's okay to speak up and reach out. Is like I still have people to this day, to this morning, who's reaching out on my phone, being like, "Hey, you know what I mean? I'm near the end of my leash. I'm at the end of I'm running out of options. I'm thinking about ending it. Uh, this guy's I don't give them advice a lot of times. A lot of times I just question them. It's like, did you grow up without a dad? Like to this with this one guy, he's a father, he's a husband. Like, did you grow up without a dad? He's like, yeah. Do you want to do that to your daughter? It's like, no. Yeah. So it gets nuts with those kind of conversations, and it's more so not me giving advice. I don't know nothing really. It's just listening and then making them think a little bit more outside of the box that they put themselves in. That there's other options, and give your daughter one chance to have a daughter growing up.
Yeah.
Give yourself one more chance for live. It's like this world is much better with you in it. And I don't know who the hell told you that to think otherwise, but you get my phone number. We talking right now. And by the end of that conversation, I just had this conversation with this guy a month ago, saying thank you. Saying I was in a real dark place, and he still is in a dark place. Just there's a little bit more light in that room now for him.
Yeah. Just gotta wake up every day and you're on the path of something where you weren't earlier. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
taking all this negativity in, like I know it can get kind of trying. What How do you stay focused on being so positive? I mean, some of it must get to you, right?
Oh, yeah. Um, we just had this one troll on our page. We did a reach out for, I was a part of My Sister's Keeper, which she goes out, she feeds the houseless community in the most rugged areas. Like I'm talking in the valley of Wahiwa, under the bridges in Waipahu, over in town. But we did, where was this location? Camp 4 housing.
Oh,
And we did haircuts for over 100 of the kids. School supplies donated from all kind of different people. People from the housing donating pizzas for the kids to eat. It was beautiful. And then to have somebody to go on the page and be like, "Oh, is like how's all these Micronesians?" Da da da. It's like, oh,
uh,
like they're people. You know what I mean? It's like
yeah.
they're kids who need help and blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, yeah. Where's your God now? Where's him to help you and blah blah blah. I'm like, should I battle with this guy online or let this go? But then he's, where's your God now? And in my head, I'm like, he's right here. He's teaching
Yeah.
me patience. Teach me patience
Yep.
right now. Yeah. So it's a waste of energy. It's a waste of time on something like that. I'd rather take that use that as fuel and use that towards something more positive. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, you're right. Da, da, da. Pray on this more. Who can we help next? You know, and that's just it's just a part of it. I mean, it
Yeah.
means we're doing something right. If you get somebody, if they trying to knock your door down, you're doing something right. And that's how I feel about it. We're doing
Yep, I
something right
agree.
around this time. Yeah.
Yep. I always say that you're doing something right if you get haters. Because if they take
Yeah.
if they take you time out to hate on you, they noticing, and that means other people
Yeah.
noticing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I see a lot of times too where people like to use the clout on social media where it's like they'll film themselves handing a plate to a homeless person or something just for that kind of it's not it feels unauthentic. And from what I
That's the
see you
word I was just
guys
gonna say.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like it looks cool on Instagram, but
Yeah.
are you doing it for to look cool or are you doing it to make a difference? I feel
Right.
like the stuff you guys are doing is so authentic and from the heart. It comes across that way. And how much fun are you guys having doing this kind of stuff?
Uh, put it this way, we don't feel like we're working, and a lot of times we're doing this for free,
Yeah,
and then this is something that if we were to get paid to do as a job, it wouldn't feel like work. I've been offered recently before I took off with the nonprofit and the night markets. I was offered a six-figure job, and it was like a fork in the road for me. Follow this, or chase the money. I went and I talked to my one of my mentors, and I was like, I'm stuck in the road, man. I don't know which way to go. Is like I need to take care of my family. Times is rough, da da da.
yeah,
But I also want to pursue this passion and try and end a real world problem crisis here in Hawaii and try and implement how we solved it here in Hawaii worldwide. He's like, it sounds like you know what your answer is already. What? He's like, I've helped a lot of people go from 5 to 6 figures, 6 to 7 figures, but not one of these people got there doing something for money. Did something
mm,
because they loved it. Like, which of these two options would you do and not get paid? And then right there, like it was so cloudy, I couldn't decide which one to do. Is like I dropped that. I was like, I gotta respectfully decline this job. Is
wow,
like, but I'm gonna go through the struggle and try and make this happen. It's like this seems more fulfilling. It seemed one is the one of the main things they always told me to is do the right thing. And for me, doing the right thing was trying to aim toward ending houselessness. And I don't think anything is gonna deter me away from that. Every day a new challenge comes or a new opportunity. I feel like it's a test of character. It's like, is what you're trying to do really what you're trying to do? Is like, or you just money hungry?
yeah. I wanted to know, I hear things, and I don't know if it's true or not, but a lot of people that are homeless are being sent here from other states
Yeah,
because of our weather, or they just don't want to deal with them in
it's
their
warmer.
state. Yeah.
Yeah, warmer.
Is that
It
is that
freezes to
real?
death.
Is that a real problem? Is that true?
One-way ticket. One-way ticket here. Sometimes
Wow.
with money, sometimes without. There's chances of survival here is a lot higher than some of these other states that are they're freezing to death. But
Yeah.
you know, it's like you guys have way more land, more resources. Why you keep
Yeah.
sending them here? Instead of getting into that whole argument with and pointing fingers, it's like to me that's a waste of my time. I'm like I'm not gonna go over here and I'm not in a position to send these guys back or to tell them we can't help them. But I am in a position to help somebody who wants help.
Yeah.
So that's what I focus on. It doesn't matter. This guy tells me he's from this last one, Tennessee or Louisiana. It's like it didn't matter. It's like because you're hungry, what you need next? Forget off the streets. That's what was important to me more than oh you got a one-way ticket or you're stuck here and blah blah
Yeah.
blah. What's the next step to getting you off the streets? So we can help the next one and the next one and the next one.
So what was your biggest success story?
Biggest
Like for an individual?
I would say, and it's an ongoing battle with this guy, but uh, 18 years on the streets. This guy, I've been friends with him from the beginning, from when I was trying to first start helping people, and then to get him into housing after 18 years, just the look on his face, the joy, the fact that he had a roof over his head, everything was going right. He's staying off the drugs and whatnot. But then that facility closed. Um, I don't know for the certain people who do follow my page, they know which facility I'm talking about that put dozens of families on the streets just like that.
Mm.
But with reasonable notice, it's not like they was just the next day and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, you guys gotta leave. They all got reasonable notice, but it is very difficult for some of these families to find housing when they was already paying super low uh, rent to begin with, and then for you to tell them that okay, uh, we don't have the money to keep this facility open. You guys got to go find somewhere to live. A lot of them just went right across the street to the beach, you know.
Yeah.
So, but that was one of my major success stories. Besides another family we had helped get into housing. It was just that was a beautiful moment. It was a husband, wife, mom, and a son, and we just worked on one thing after another. GoFundMe account, help us get this family. They need direct. All they needed was on what do you call that? You when you put the rent and then the
Oh,
first
the
rent month
first and last month, the
deposit.
security deposit.
Yes, they couldn't cover that cost, and the money the state wasn't giving wasn't enough. He was out there panhandling, and he just had enough to feed and make sure his family wasn't starving. He couldn't cover that gap, and luckily with social media again, double-edged sword. It worked for you or against you. It
Yeah.
worked for us in that one, and I think same thing. I would run to the head honchos online, whether it was me in Hawaii, Hungry Hawaiian, and say, I need your help. Can you help me just get this message out? Boom, got them off the streets. That family still housed, still getting roof over their head.
Nice.
I still keep in contact with them. How you guys doing? Everything okay? They're doing good. Those
Oh,
are I
that's
love those
awesome.
stories. And it
Yep.
might I might not be pushing out these huge numbers like these other nonprofits, but I just started. I just started
Yeah.
last year.
Oh,
There's gonna
wow.
be a day where I'm pushing out these fat numbers. Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, officially a nonprofit, I would say sometime September last year.
Oh,
But
wow. Literally a year then.
yeah, so I've been just continuously progressing. It all started from just handing bottles to one houseless guy and saying, "What do you need?" And then to talking to why not economic development and finding out what it takes to run a 501c and the lengthy process you got to go through to actually be certified. But the fact is, there's the help out there, and there's people that are willing to help, but you gotta go reach out. Nobody gonna hand them to you.
Yeah. That's true. How much has the drug problem in Hawaii contributed to people not having homes?
Oh,
It's the number one.
you, I mean, you see it everywhere. I mean, go walk through Chinatown or something,
Oh
and
yeah.
yeah. So I have a hard time with those ones. It's like
Yeah.
if I feel like my life's in danger, then I will deal with that. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna go call the cops on them either. It's just like,
Yeah.
sorry, I wish I could help. But when the guy starts yelling at the wall next to me, I'm like, maybe not this one. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe not this one.
Yeah, I had one guy in Kaneohe beefing the air the like a couple weeks ago. He's losing too, bro. I don't know how that worked out, but
Bruh,
but dealing with all of this, you must have to have some downtime for your own self. What do you do for fun and kind of try to stay kind of yin yang to balance everything out?
it's the family. It's trying to keep family up front and center. And sometimes I do lose my way. I'm not perfect. I
Yeah.
forget why I'm doing this for. It's not for me doing all this. It wasn't for the money. It's for the freedom that may come with it, and to spend time with my son, my wife, to come and go as we please, and not have to worry about are we going to make rent this month? Are we going to make rent this
Yeah.
month? It's it's for me. It's a way to it's a way out by also helping others out the mud as well.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So
Well, what do you do for fun? Like you go beach
for
or
fun,
like yeah, what do you
yeah,
do on
beach,
your
a
free time?
beach with my son. He loves the body. He loves bodyboarding. So
Okay.
I try to take him bodyboarding as much as I can. Besides that, he's in school or football. Me and my wife, we go out. We do. I love playing pool. So like, uh, whether it's Hawaiian Brian's or whatnot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, beach is a real grounding thing for me. We try to do that weekly. Like it doesn't have to only be for surfing or bodyboarding. Like just being out there in the water, on the sand, just that alone time to really like restore your energy.
Yeah.
It can be draining out here, and everybody's like pulling at you. It's hard to pour from an empty cup.
Yeah, definitely. That's why I'm asking that question is you gotta
Yeah.
find a kind of balance too, you know what I mean?
So a lot of times helping these people, I may actually come out of my own pocket, but I don't go advertising that,
Yeah.
and it runs my well dry. But in my head, I'm like, maybe my wallet's a little bit low, but my heart is full.
Yeah.
My heart, and then to me, that's way more value than that extra $5 that Uncle might have needed more at the bus stop than me.
Yeah. Yeah. What I noticed, and I just realized this last night, that your group of friends are pretty solid people. Like Taisei, his brother, even Rylan from boxing. And it's
Yes.
like I didn't even know you guys knew each other, but then it pops up. Oh yeah, that's my boy, that's my friend. Or like, oh, you know the
Yeah.
kind. I'm like, wow, it kind of reiterated that phrase, you are the friends that you keep. You become
Yeah.
the people. And I
Yeah.
just realized like how close you guys are without even knowing you guys knew each other. And it just
Hmm.
kept popping up. Like I had Rylan on a couple weeks ago and he's like, oh yeah, Ty is my boy. We used to box when we was young. And I'm thinking like, how do you guys all know each other? You guys, and I guess that's the attraction of Aloha is you
Yeah.
want to be around the same people that have your same mindset. And I
Yeah.
feel like all of you guys, every single one of you guys are doing something to level themselves up, their families, as well as the people around them. Like Ty raises his whole staff. It's
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah.
And you guys all same that keep that same vibe and aloha. And it's kind of cool to know you guys are all close friends. It's a
Yeah.
trip.
It's beautiful. Yes.
But you knew all of them for a long time.
Uh, for some years now, yeah. I've been to like Brandon I found online and I just started going to his gym and whatnot. I loved his message. I love like
Yeah.
he was doing it strictly to like for the kids and his come up story, you know. You've seen
Yep.
like how his whether it was his health conditions and then to the focus he has on his daughter and his wife and putting his best foot forward for others. I mean, it's that in my book is inspiring and somebody that I want to be more like. So even though sometimes we're distant, I don't make training a lot, we're both still being inspired by each other. A famous thing
Yep.
he always tells me, iron sharpens iron. And
Yep.
that's a tried and true statement.
Yeah, it's definitely with especially with boxing and stuff. But
Yeah.
it works as same with aloha and friendship because I was thinking like, wow, I just gotta have your whole friend group on my show because every one of you guys have a different aspect of doing something great for the community and
Yeah.
leveling up. And
Yeah.
I've been like focused on having inspirational people on because for one I get inspired to do different things, but it also inspires who's listening to this. And
Mhm.
yeah, your guys circle is pretty bunch of solid guys. It's crazy to think that all you guys know each other.
Yeah. Like attracts like. You are the
Yeah.
company you keep, and we try. I do notice that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that you put it down, now that I look at it from a wider angle, everybody's kind of got their own thing going, but
Yeah.
they're aimed toward the same thing, showing more aloha, putting their a lot of these guys is givers more than takers. Right,
Yep.
from what I see,
Yep.
they can give the shirt off their back a lot of times before they feed themselves.
That's exactly. And it seems like you guys are good role models, and it's cool to know that you guys all hang out together and are close. You work with Taya.
Yeah, yeah. Ty has been a guiding light for a lot of along my journey too, and just reminded me to believe in myself a lot of times. I was down and out at one point, or just discouraging to my own demeanor. It just reminded me of who I am or what I could be, and then it just worked hand in hand. Whether it was me and him teaming up, and we're gonna go do a beach cleanup, or in fact, we're going to do an Loi in I mean, maybe I got the address wrong, but somewhere in Wailua, we're gonna go out there and work in the field on
Oh,
Wednesday
that's the one
and give
yeah,
back to
that's
the
the one you
community.
invited me to. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah. We're
gotta
gonna do
come out
that.
to one of those. I like bring my daughter too. I like her feel
Yeah,
the earth
it's something different. Yeah, being out there and
yeah,
giving back and feeling the earth under your feet.
yeah. She definitely got to get more in tune with her culture as well.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
brought her. We did something at in Kahalu at one of the poi farms. The
oh, nice.
and yeah, with Daniel. I don't know if you know Daniel, but um
Yeah, yeah, I think so. He
yeah,
always does the what's his
Kalo
name?
and yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I've met him.
So because we work with Defend Hawaii a lot, so we did some of that stuff, and yeah, she's about it. So I was like, and then my daughter's volleyball, her club, we did somewhere. I wasn't able to go because I had to work, but her and her club, they went and cut taro and like did all this stuff in the Loi, and it was like she was inspired. So I was like, I want to get her involved more.
Yes.
Yeah. What you got? What else do you guys got going on in the future?
Well, we're right on the fence with getting some grants approved. In the long run, we want to try and get a hold of a facility where we can help and try and house something like how uh rest in peace Twinkle, something like how
Yeah.
she's doing. She's secured land for Waianae Boat Harbor, and any overflow that's gonna or any extra houses, they're gonna take them in, from what I understand, talking with the Air National Guard down there too, as well as some of the construction workers we're friends with. So that's long-term goal. Short-term goal, we're trying to secure these grants and maybe get whether it's a warehouse or something nearby that we could intake mail for these people on the streets. Because a lot of times it comes to address. How you can get food stamps if they kind of mail you the card, or without it's all a learning process for us, and we get
Yeah.
solid individuals. I don't know if you know, I know Logan,
Maybe by
but
face.
he's a big help. He's been helping us with our nonprofit a lot, alongside even like why not economic development.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
The where I work in by Kakako Beach Park there, I don't know if it's still going on, but they had a shelter there. It was like
yeah.
a big warehouse kind of thing.
Was
But
it
I
like a
don't
temporary kind of shelter, or
I
like
think it
a
was a temporary.
yeah?
But I don't know if it's up and running no, but I think it's still empty now. It was emptied and they started using it and then it kind of I think it's I don't know what happened.
Yeah,
Yeah. But I think Kaneohe needs one for sure. Like there's a
yeah.
lot of people and they're just kind of making do wherever. You see them all
Mhm.
over. It was way more than what it was before when I was growing up. It had maybe like three like had Mango Man, had the guy that slept in the dugouts, and then had the guy that beefed the coconut tree in front of times. And that was
Uh,
it. Now it gets so many, but
every corner, yeah.
yeah. I do know they have like a little community by the library where they have like a patch where they're all there and they clean
Yeah,
up, they put their rubbish on the side of the road to get picked up and yeah.
they try to be respectful so some people are like pick up your trash or this and that, but a
Yeah.
lot of places where these guys live, they don't have trash service like we get at home, you know?
Yeah.
And they try to be respectful, but they can only be they only can do so much. They're not held accountable for every other person on the campsite, and some
Yeah.
people just
Yeah.
not respect the INA, and that ruins it for everybody else. Then all of a
Yeah.
sudden, cops are called, and boom, that's it.
Everything is broken up. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I do remember I was walking, so our um where I work at the Cancer Research Center, the parking lot's kind of a walk away. So I was
Hmm.
walking and when had all the homeless people, I seen one auntie cooking eggs and all this kind, and she's like, "Hey boy, you like eat?" And I was like, "Oh, like I know, like you living on the side of the road in one tent, and whatever food you had, you didn't try to offer it to me." And I was thinking like, wow, this auntie is like that's aloha. And I was
Yes,
like that it made it stuck in my head all that whole time. And a couple of times like when we had like parties at work and stuff, I go to that one tent, I just put food by the stuff and walk away, and if they eat them they eat them, if they don't they don't. But
they don't. Yeah,
it just blew me away how someone who had not much was willing to give something that she needed. You know what I mean? I was like, wow,
yes.
that's next level. People
I
take
run
that
into
kind of
plenty of
stuff for
people on the
granted.
streets that, yeah, they show so much aloha, and I'm like, I'm so mind blown. It's like, uh, you don't even have a place to live, but you show me a lot more love than sometimes some of the people I hang out with. They're like, you don't even have a house. It's like, or home. Is like, boy, I am home. Remember this one uncle telling me that. I am home. It's just because I know more roof overhead doesn't mean this not my home. So sorry, uncle, you're right. That's why I don't say homeless anymore. I say
I was gonna
houseless.
ask you. I was definitely
Yeah.
gonna ask you that.
Yeah, I kind of got some Kanaka uncle that live on the street, and he's just like, boy, I'm not homeless. I am already home. I just no more one house over my head right now. Like, okay. And then ever since he went check me like that, I don't, I'm on a rare occasion I might slip, but I almost never say houseless. It's always, I mean, homeless is houseless.
That was gonna be my last question.
Okay. Yeah.
But shoot, we've been going for an hour already.
Yeah.
Where can people find you and on social media and stuff, and how can they maybe try and help?
Yeah. It's real, man. You can easily find me on Instagram, the To the Top Hawaii. That's also the name of the nonprofit. Um, People come out of the woodworks, whether it's with I need help with this fundraiser or I need help with that beach cleanup, and I go ahead and okay, if they're serious about it, we'll do a follow-up call and then we'll make something work and then we'll do a reach out and it's all like posted on the page. Like I that's something I need to work on more now is adding a little bit more structure and agenda.
Mm.
You know, it can't just always be spur of the moment because it's getting to this point now where people are like, I want to help, but your stuff is so sporadic. It's like, or it happens the next week or the next month.
Oh
I'm like,
yeah, yeah.
but I know, yeah. So we're trying to make it more like, all right, we'll do a community outreach every 3 months. We'll do a beach club cleanup every other month, or we'll do a canned good drive. We just yeah essentials, something like that. But I need to create an agenda. But in the meantime, the easiest way to just find me is just follow To the Top Boy Instagram, and then
Oh, right on.
yeah, the magic happens right there. We have a lot of we associate with a lot of other good people that are the movers and shakers of try to advocate for aloha, you know, in everything that we do, whether it's talking to the kids, cleaning up the community, night markets, simple kind of stuff.
And for us, as always, you can find us on Above the Bridge podcast on Instagram, our YouTube channel. atbpod.com is our website, and my personal Instagram is Daddy Daddy High. Right on. Well,
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
No, thank you for coming on and opening up.
Yeah.
I didn't know how deep you were involved in all that stuff other than um what you showed up threw up on social media. I
Yeah.
think people hearing this might get inspired, and I know I am. I think what you're doing is amazing work, and
Yeah.
like
Thank
you
you.
said, you make a difference in one person's life. That's one person already better than they were yesterday.
Exactly.
It takes a strong individual to kind of put the world on your shoulders and go. You know what I mean? It's a lot of strength coming from within yourself to keep going. So props to you, man. I think hopefully people can hear your word and get involved. I'll definitely be involved and tag me on anything you're doing, bro. I'll definitely repost
So
it. And just that alone can be a big help. You know what I mean? Just help
yes.
spreading the word. And bro, like you said, if you're less sporadic and I can make time out of my schedule, I'll be there, bro.
Yeah.
I'll do some stuff with you guys.
Yeah.
And yeah. Well, I appreciate you, man. Shakas for the cameras.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
Right on. We're out. Shout out to the Artist Group Network. Aloha.